All right, we're going to get started. For those of you who saw my post this morning that Christina and I were going to be doing this jointly, I hate to disappoint you. You just stuck with me. I know. If you want to drop off now, you go ahead. If you joined specifically for Christina, since she's over there smiling right now, she's gonna, yeah, you guys are gonna make her feel good. Unfortunately, she had some high priority stuff just came up, and so you're stuck with me. But we're gonna muddle through this. We're gonna. The goal today is to give you some information about open houses, kind of a cheat sheet of actions to take before, during, after an open house, just to help you for planning purposes. This is specifically for brand new agents. Of course, this is interactive. So any of you that have done any recently, that had any good experiences, bad experiences, anything that you would like to add, you are welcome to do so. And I encourage you to do so because everybody could benefit from this. All right. Before I get started though, I wanted to let you know I do have some availability this afternoon. I've got some open slots on my calendar between 1:30 and 3ish. So if anybody needs a tune up, has any specific issues that you need help with, just want to chat, you're welcome to grab one of those slots and spend some time with me this afternoon. All right, happy to be here to invest in your business. All right. Okay, so everybody, if you can go to the workplace post that announced this foundations class, in the comments below, I posted the a little PDF cheat sheet on open houses, and you can save that. You can print it, whatever the case may be, use it as your guide if you are hosting an open house, and you'll have this material in perpetuity from now on. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna roll right into this. I'm gonna mute somebody. Heather Gale, I'm gonna mute you because I got a lot of background noise. Okay, so is everybody looking at steps for a successful open house? All right. So the way that we have kind of organized this, and I give all credit where it is due to Christina. She took the ball and ran with this on preparing this document. So we're going to do both before, during, and after the open house kind of steps and some thought processes for you to be thinking about. Okay. So this is the timeline of everything going from before the open house. These are the steps. And there are several. All right. So first, you and the agent that has the listing will work together to determine the date and time. Of course, the agent, the listing agent that you're hosting this for is going to take the lead on probably communicating with the actual sellers if there is somebody physically present in the house. Okay. When you've determined when and where and the details of the open house, then you need to let the help desk know in step 2, and they will list the open house and put it on the MLS. When it gets put on the MLS, it then gets syndicated out to all the other websites to advertise that there is an open house Saturday between 1 and 3 or whatever you guys decide. Okay. You can then take the opportunity to have help desk help you prepare a flyer and or the social media graphic to announce the open house. They can do all of that for you and spoon feed it to you so you can then move forward and get the word out. All right. You're going to want to then take those assets that they've given you and advertise the open house on your social media, on the company's social media, online, print ads, flyers, do an announcement, do an open house announcement, put it and email it to your CRM, your database, so that you can practice both passive advertising and passive marketing as well as active marketing. All right. If you've got your CRM listed and grouped by buyers versus sellers, Guess what? You send an open house advertisement to everybody who is a buyer in your group. It's really that simple. All right. You as the agent need to familiarize yourself with the property before the open house. Okay, so you want to have all of the pertinent information, basically treat it as if it was a showing on steroids. You want to know as much as you can about the property itself. I would strongly recommend that you do a drive-by before the actual day of the open house. Okay, figure out where it is in the neighborhood, figure out where your signs would be best positioned. I'm even going to go one step further. Hopefully you have made a very conscious selection of what house to do the open house for. Let me explain. Okay, open houses that are being hosted. What do you think the attendance is on a house that is in the back 40 of a subdivision versus a house that is right at the front of the subdivision or in a very prominent place? What's been your experience, everybody?
If it's in the back, it's hard to access. You're not gonna get a lot of traffic, but in the front, it's hot.
You're right. Foot traffic is huge in an area where you can actually see the house, where people have to drive by it in order to see it. So if you're out there and you're an agent that wants to build a business off of one of your verticals being hosting of open houses, I personally would be very selective about what houses I choose to do an open house at. Okay, if it's in the back of a neighborhood in a cul-de-sac, at the very rear of the neighborhood where only 3 people have to drive past it to be able to see it, you might want to think twice about it, because it's typically not going to be very well attended. All right. Is it a horse? Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question though. Doesn't the open house get advertised though on like all the websites though to let people know?
It does, but that's assuming that all of your attendance is coming from announcements of that nature. Frankly, a lot of the attendance is, oh, hey, honey, look, that house is open.
Got it. Fair enough.
Okay. All right. So along the lines of your research, that was a slight diversion, rabbit trail. The other information that you need to know about the house: is there an HOA in the neighborhood? How much are the fees? What schools are close by? You might even want to do a little bit of research on the schools by going to schooldigger.com and seeing how they're rated. By all means, run a CMA, get your comps so that you know how this house measures up against other homes in the same neighborhood. Know how it's priced. Be able to have that conversation with somebody when they talk about the pricing of the home. Okay. The actual day of the open house, the agent, you're going to prepare for the open house. I strongly encourage you to purchase some refreshments. Have some bottled waters, have some candy bars, some hardtack candy, things like that, some mints, things like that. Be careful. I would caution you against homemade things, just simply because food allergies and nuts and things like that. You don't want to be responsible for somebody going into anaphylactic shock. Sounds silly, but I've heard of it happening before. Okay, but it's always a good idea to have some refreshments nearby. All right, offer some waters. It's a great icebreaker. If nothing else, it's a great icebreaker to be hospitable to somebody when they're coming in. Have some flyers printed out. Set up your signs, your big flag banner in the yard. Although I think the last time I heard, we were still trying to find it. I don't know where the flag banner ended up going, but the big open house vertical flag that you put in the yard. But you want everybody to feel welcome, and yeah, they're going to eat your cookies if you got them. All right. But the help desk will already have put out the directionals for you. We also have availability for things like tablecloths and other marketing items to help you kind of put your best foot forward. Work with the help desk; they can help you with all this stuff. All right. As you have people coming in, greet your buyers, answer their questions. I always tend to, whenever I'm hosting an open house, which I don't do very often, but everybody does on occasion, I will, when they come in the door, I'll greet them, be very cordial, ask them, if they have any questions, and say, hey, would you like me to give you just kind of rundown of the vital statistics on this house before you traipse off into the basement and start looking at everything? And 99 times out of 100, the answer is yeah. And so that's when you can give them your 2-minute, and I seriously mean short 2-minute elevator speech of, okay, this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house built in 2003. This was the model home when it was built. It's 2,600 square feet, finished basement. Love the backyard. Make sure you check out the master bathroom upstairs. It's fabulous. That's all those vital stats. And it's listed for, it's been on the market for 2 days and it's listed at $475. That's all you need. And then send them off on their way. All right. Any questions about that? All right. It's, depending upon who's in the home, it's always a good idea. You might want to ask them to remove their shoes. If the home is occupied, let them take a tour, take pictures, video if the seller has allowed that, and keep any important notes. The buyers may want to keep some notes as they're going through the house. Any buyer who liked the house will either do a couple of different things. You can ask them, as they're going through, ask them questions like, hey, have you been to a bunch of open houses today? How did you find us? How did you hear about this home? All of those things are icebreakers. And you can also, in the course of that icebreaker, ask them, hey, are you working with an agent? Is an agent sending you the homes? And if not, then there might be the opportunity for you to be able to swoop in on your white horse and go through this process. All right. If they do have an agent, then it is not going to be uncommon that they might schedule a separate showing on their own, and that you might be seeing an offer, that day, next day, pretty soon thereafter. All right. So again, before, there's a little bit of information in here, some nice information actually. This is some considerations about putting the signs out, when you're going to put the signs out, when are you going to host them, some information on Saturdays and Sundays. By the way, Saturdays and Sundays are not the only days you can host an open house. I guess my caveat to this would be, if you're going to do it on a weekday, my strongest recommendation would be, it probably needs to be one of those houses that has a lot amount of high foot traffic or street traffic in the subdivision, so it's going to be more visible. Okay. Has anybody hosted one? Who here has hosted an open house and had 0 people show up? 1, 2, at least 3 of us, 4 of us. It can happen. It absolutely can happen. I've also had it happen where the open house is advertised from 1 to 3, and at 4:30 people are still showing up. You just never know. So plan accordingly, and be flexible, because it's likely to happen. All right. So this paragraph talks about the conventional wisdom of what, Saturdays and Sundays, weekdays versus during the week. And I love this. Use the MLS to gain an encyclopedia knowledge of the neighborhood, schools, amenities, quality of life, surroundings, all the things that the HOA has, pool, clubhouse, all those kind of things. You're going to want to know all that information. All right. Then actually during, set up your outdoor directional signs. Help desk is going to do a lot of this for you, but you might want to tweak it a little bit. You might want to move a sign here and there. You might want to make sure that it's set up to where the parking works well out front. All of these things, you're just going to have to be a problem solver. I hate to tell you, but that's 90% of our business is problem solving. And if you've got a traffic jam out front in the cul-de-sac and you're blocking the street because of so many people, you're going to have to get out there and fix it. There's nobody else that can really do it for you. All right. Strong encourager, use a sign-in sheet. The help desk can actually produce one of those for you and make it look pretty. But ask people to sign in, and a great way to get them to sign in is to use that sign in. There might be a place for some feedback. And does anybody have a great script for getting people to sign in that don't want to sign in? Anybody used anything?
I said that the seller would like to know about the traffic that's come through the house, and so we're asking people to sign in that we can track that.
It's a great one. Great one. If you really want it, if the home was occupied and there was, a high value home, you could actually say, for security reasons, the seller has asked us to make a record of everybody that has come through the house. Okay. What if they don't want to sign in?
I guess there's
What's your
nothing you can really do about it if they don't want to sign in. I guess you can't really force them. I've made a joke before though, like I've had a tray of like Krispy Kreme donuts and waters and stuff out, and I kind of said, "Don't sign in, no donut," and like it goes down pretty well. They're like, "Okay then." For the
I love it. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. I think that's a great idea. You can ask them for, sign in for security reasons, for just a record. You can even jokingly say, look, I'm not going to spam your email every 5 minutes. But if you're looking for resources, I definitely, definitely can help you. I just need to know your contact information. It's just that simple. Okay. If they absolutely refuse it, whether or not you let them in the door or not, in my mind, would depend on what the seller's request was. If the seller specifically said, for security reasons, I'd like to know every single person that is coming through my house. If they're not willing to sign in, sorry, you have to catch us next time, or you have to get with your agent to show the house, but I can't let you in if you're not willing to sign in because for security reasons. Okay. If the house is vacant, there's nothing in there. Would I die on that hill? Would I fall on my sword over whether or not somebody comes and signs in? As long as the seller didn't have a specific reason for the security concerns, I would let them in. But you do you. You know your situation and your seller better than anybody. All right. So while you're actually physically there during the house, okay, what's your policy on your visitors? Do you follow them? Are you a helicopter agent, or are you letting them do their own thing and get comfortable in the house as you monitor the cookie sales? That was a question.
Thing.
Them do their own thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to be hovered over. And while they're doing their thing, walking around the house, you can then do other activities, greeting the additional clients that are coming in. You can, while you're physically there, you can do a social media post. Strongly encourage you to do a Facebook Live or a TikTok stream, or anything else. And if you do it live, that gives you more traffic, and it could potentially result in more traffic coming in from your actual feed. All right. After the open house, you want to capture all of those leads of the people that came in there. This is by far the most crucial step. And you want to reach out and do follow-up with all of those people. So you're going to want to come back to the office, put them into your CRM, and send them a little note, send them a little video, say thank you for attending. If you have any questions about this property or any others, I'd be happy to be able to help you. Speaking of that, that's sending me down another rabbit trail, is they may walk into your house for the open house, and they may walk into the kitchen and go, this isn't it. Well, guess what? But do you like this neighborhood? Because there's 3 others in the neighborhood. I'm done here at 3 o'clock, and I can show you those 3 others. Okay. That's all a result of you having done your CMA, and you know what else is available in the neighborhood, and you know other homes that are comparable to this one. Okay. And it's part of your value proposition. It's you have solutions for them. If it's not this house, I've got others that I can connect you with, and I can show them to you today, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever is convenient for you. Okay. We'll go back, see what else we got left. So again, so now that you've done all of this, when you're recording and you're doing your, I like this idea down here, this last paragraph. She talks about you can upload your video that you did, your Facebook Live. You can send it directly to your client. You can send it to any prospects that came in to see the house. Say they want to have a little visual cue to remember some of the details of it. You can upload it to your YouTube or your video. If the home is occupied by a seller, you can actually, send it to the agent who you're hosting the open house for, and they can share it with their client just so they can see, if you had 30 couples come through, you might want to take a picture of a dozen or more couples roaming around the living room of the house and send that to the seller. That will go a long way to communicate exactly how much the Century 21 listing agent is doing to help get that home sold. Okay. And sometimes that's all it can take is, hey, look, they're doing everything possible to get the home sold. All right. That is all of the formal notes that I have for you today, which actually works out really well. We're just a few minutes early. What questions do you have? What feedback do you have? Anybody got anything you want to add? You're muted, Leah. Unmute for me.
Yeah, my shortcut didn't work apparently. One more time, where is that checklist that you were reviewing? Where do I find it?
So let me actually physically show it to you. It is. Hang on just a second. It's actually in Workplace. All right. So here's our Workplace. There was the announcement. This is the steps for a successful PDF, open house PDF, right there in the comments underneath of the announcement for the foundations.
Thank you, sir.
Got it. What other questions do you have, folks? Okay, we'll finish a little bit early. Thank you for your time today. Have a great day. If you have any other questions, anything come up, if you want to book some time with me this afternoon, you know how to do it on BrokerMint. Thank you all. Have a great day.